How odd. Light is falling on the corner, and yet it's as dark as the deepest night. I hear a whisper, like something evil lives there. What's that? In the center of the darkness, there's a pedestal, and on top of that, feels like a lamp. I'll take it. Huh? Did the darkness come from the lamp then?
The ice djinn in these halls has shown me the way to an ancient text. It's one of the few in which the Garden of Oblivion is mentioned.
And?
It's a travelogue by a mage named Halef ben Jalif. He was a servant of one of the Mogul mages and sent out to find the garden.
Which Mogul mage?
The last of the Moguls, Malakar. Unfortunately, he never found the garden, and fearing punishment, he began to hide from his master's lackeys. He feared that if he were found, they would, here I quote, "First place the mask on me, and then transform me into a lifeless artifact."
What sort of artifact?
Who knows? Perhaps a ring or a bracelet.
Or a staff?
Those old Moguls really knew how to ruin someone's life.
What was his name again?
He was called Halef ben Jalif. I wonder if they ever caught him.
What else do you know about Ben Jalif?
Not much. He was given the mask and sent out to find the garden. That's all it says here.
What does the log say about the garden?
It says that some sort of magic word is buried in the garden. A word that will awaken the true power of Malakar's mask, and that 3 secret chambers will point the way there. The rest is just incoherent nonsense.
Are you sure?
Yes. The search for the garden must have gone to Jalif's head. He babbles that the place was created by an ancient entity, a servant of time, and that Satinav, the Lord of Time, separated the garden from our spheres, so that nothing that happens in the garden would have consequences for our reality. Then there's something about lies that become truth, and a hole in the Book of Time. Obviously the inventions of a half-wit.
3 chambers show the way?
Yes, their entrances are located somewhere in Draconia. Keep an eye out for this symbol. You can have the pages, if you like.
Thank you.
However, to open the chambers, you need to have the mask with you. Until you have the mask, there's no point in searching for the chambers.
Are you inciting me to steal?
I'm only here to pass on knowledge. What you do with it is your business, and yours alone.
The garden was created by a servant of time?
Correct. They say this servant sleeps in the 3 chambers and waits for a mage to wake him.
Does it have to be a mage?
Yes. Only the presence of magic will disturb his sleep.
Who is Satinav?
Satinav is the guardian of time. He watches over the Book of Time and makes sure that no one disturbs or changes the things written there.
Has anyone ever seen him?
No, he's only a legend.
There's a spell buried in the garden which will waken the true power of the mask? What is its true power?
It says here that the mask presents its bearer with a choice. He either decides for sweet oblivion or to undo things which once happened, as if they never came to pass.
That sounds very powerful.
Oh yes, it does. More than a few would murder for such power.
That's enough for now.
You know, I find it curious that you've never heard anything about this at all. I noticed your tattoo. You're a descendant of Malachi yourself, aren't you? Have you learned nothing from your forefathers?
No, I'm hearing about all this for the first time.
And our prince, above the observatory. He's your brother, isn't he? I just wonder what drives you. An uncanny determination glows in your eyes. Either you'll achieve the impossible, or you'll descend into the deepest madness.
I won't be stopped.
I only want to warn you. Please, take care of yourself.
Xerxes!
Calm down. I'm allowed to leave my room now. What sort of room is this?
A workshop.
And what do you do here?
As an ore elementalist, I study stones and crystals.
And dangerous artifacts.
Those too.
What are you studying now?
An elemental sphere. Don't bother me, I have a good feeling right now. The work is going very smoothly.
What do you know about this mask here?
I don't like it. It gives me an uneasy feeling.
Examine the mask.
Later.
When later?
Please, stop harassing me with your annoying questions. I feel good about this sphere right now. I need to make use of this inspiration.
You only research things that give you a good feeling?
I associate warmth and light with the sphere. With the mask, I associate only cold flesh and death. Does that answer your question?
Have you taken a closer look at the staff on the table?
Briefly.
And?
It is ensouled. Longer study will show what lies within.
Aha. How are you feeling now?
I associate warmth and light with the sphere. With the mask, I associate only cold flesh and death.
I know now who you are. Your name is Halef ben Jalif. You were Malaka's servant. He sent you to find the Garden of Oblivion, but you only made it as far as Draconia. As a punishment, the mask was placed on you. Your memory was stolen, and you were made into what you are now. Yes.
What did the staff say?
It's not written here. The air elementalist could only write down what his spirit observed, not what happened in Saj's mind.
Rats. I've been waiting for this moment for so long, and now this.
So you're a victim of the mask yourself. I suppose I can forgive you.
I would break off my work on the sphere, but there's no good alternative at the moment. repulsive. How can something so beautiful conjure such ill feelings? Time to devote myself to something nicer. So that's it.
Is there anything new?
The mask is a reservoir. It stores memories.
Sure, by draining them from people.
Yes, but that's trivial. What's really fascinating is that it stores everything which happens around it. It's as though it observes the world in silence and takes note of everything. If we were to succeed in reversing its effect, we would have access to an enormous archive of past times. I have a good feeling about this.
How can the magic of the mask be reversed?
That sort of thing takes time. I would attempt to weave a modification of a reverse Salis into a gemstone and then attach that to the mask. If the spell inside the mask is then recited, it should have the converse effect. Instead of emptying the wearer, it would begin to transmit stored memories to him.
I want you to reverse the effect of the mask.
That will take time. Besides, I lack an appropriate gemstone.
Take this ruby, weave the reversal spell into it, and reverse the effect of the mask.
I told you, it isn't that easy. First, I need to examine the quality of the stone. Possibly grind it again.
We don't have time for that. I want to know what the mask knows. Do as I tell you.
Such an intervention is dangerous.
I need everything I can get my hands on in order to survive in the gore. My life is at stake here, so do it.
Yeah, we can do all that. You'll now become either completely stupid or entirely enlightened. Fadan faskadan esplasta quatan, murilor gras farel goran, hulbe mutir gerul felan, juntir quatan feluntir sudan. Hey, can you hear me?
I had a vision.
Someone else's memory? So it worked!
You sound surprised.
You're very lucky that you're still able to speak. What else did you learn? Did you learn any new skills? If so, show me. You can cast spells?
I only remember this one spell. No, wait. There's more.
The more frequently you call upon the memories in the mask, the more they'll be accessible to you. Take off the mask. Do you still remember?
No. The spells are gone.
As I suspected, the effect is only active as long as you wear the mask. Put it on again and cast the second spell. Stop playing with my thoughts. Let me try one more thing. Remove the ruby and put the mask on again. Can you still cast spells?
Yes. I remember more and more.
Ha! I'm brilliant! Once the ruby has created a connection between the wearer and the mask, the bond remains even without the stone. That's enough for now. Give me the mask and you can go.
He was turned into a small crystal. I suppose the spell isn't very precise about what sort of stone it transforms someone into. Whatever this is for. What is it? What do you want? The face is reacting to the strange orb. I think it wants to follow me as long as I have the orb. Come out, whoever you are. What kind of runes are these?
Oh, those are the symbols of the 6 elements. That rune stands for fire. That's clearly the symbol for air. That symbol represents ice. That symbol stands for water. That's probably the symbol for ore. That's the symbol for earth, if I'm not mistaken.
Is it possible to reverse the effect of the darkness? Yes, now it's as bright as the sun. It's shiny and clean. Just a moment, there's an odd indentation. I see water on the other side. The light of the lamp is shining through. Spirits of the water, rise. It's only a part of the seal. Something's still missing. The drawing fits exactly. Huh? I feel the mask in my pocket. It's pulling me, drawing me there. Nothing is happening. The spell only works on living beings.
Who is doing magic in my chamber? I've slept for so long. Please, awaken me with your magic. Don't be frightened. Remain seated. There's something you should know. Listen well, and you will understand. Once there was Satinav, the guardian of time. Satinav wrote everything that happened, was going to happen, and had happened in his book of time. Anyone who deviated from the path written in the book or sought to rewrite time was punished by Satinav with the worst punishment that could ever be inflicted on anyone. He ripped the poor soul from its existence as if it had never been there at all. What no one remembers is that Satinav had a servant. Me, the Djinn of Time, Nemoremnon. In the name of my lord I roamed the ages, punishing heretics and healing the rents in the fabric of time that their heresy had caused. I was powerful, and yet I was only a servant to the boundless tyranny of a careworn master. Then came the day on which everything would change. When a woman came before Satinav with her dead son, she begged for the life of her child, for an adjustment of time. But Satinav, in his infinite cruelty, would not listen. I, however, took pity on the creature, and in an act of boundless benevolence, I created my mightiest tool. A mask. My mask. And I gave it to the creature, so that never again would anyone lose something so precious.
Weird.
Again, I can barely stay awake. Open my eye. You have returned. Hear now the second act of my tale, the history of the mask. The mask presents the creatures of the world a choice. Upon those who wear it and speak the ancient incantation written upon it, I bestow blessed forgetfulness, so that the pain of loss gives way to an unsullied new beginning. If the wearer speaks my true name, however, I appear to them and fulfill any wish they have. Whatever was lost, I recover from the depths of the past and bring into the present. Thus, over the years, the dead have awoken to new life, and kingdoms have shone with old glory. My beneficence was boundless, and in my mercy I have overwritten the tyranny of the Book of Time. Yes, it was my name that did all this. My name outshone everything. Not Nemoremnon, as the giants call me, but rather my true name, my secret name. Satinav sought to banish my name into oblivion, but again I outwitted him. In the shadow of Los, I found the one place into which my master could not see. There I dug a hole, and in this hole I placed my name. And from my name grew a garden. Anyone who wore the mask and found the garden would also find my name. My name in my garden. The garden of eternal oblivion. The garden of my forgotten name.
Spirit of the flame, come with me. What are you doing?
Psst! An earth spirit is sleeping beneath us. It sees to the fertility of the soil. Right now, it's asleep. Please be quiet, all right?
Yalla, come out. I don't want to get too close to Qasim. I won't fly there until I actually have a reason to.
You're back. Awaken me, and we can end this tale. Ah, there's one more thing you must understand. My garden and the surreal miracle of which it is capable. Oh, how I love it. My garden, with my name. How singular it is. How beautiful. And how jealous it makes Satinav. Yes, he hates it. He hates it so much that he separated it from your world. He hates that he cannot see into it, that he doesn't know what happens there. Whenever someone enters my garden, his quill pauses, and a page in his book, in which all else is written, remains blank. He hates it so much he decided that nothing that happens inside it can have any consequence for the world outside. Go in and break a branch, go out, and in the eyes of the world, it was never broken. But whisper what happened in the garden into Satinav's invisible ear, and he will add it to his book of truth. Only then do these actions become reality and the branch broken. Tell him what you will. If he believes you, then every word becomes true. But woe unto you if he learns that you have lied. Then he'll show his true face. He'll pursue you, and he'll tear you to pieces. For he is old, jealous, and depraved. Only I am great. Sadya, you have come so far. Embark on the final leg of your journey. Follow the path from Draconia down to Satinav's watching pillar. There, I'll appear to you, and if you wish, show you my garden. My garden. My name. My great mercy.
I didn't understand that bit with the branch.
You mean the garden?
I mean everything. The garden, the mask. I couldn't really follow all that, could you?
I didn't think it hard to follow.
The Garden of Oblivion. Why does every word become true there?
As far as I understood it, it's because Satinav doesn't know what happens in the garden, but he has to know it in order to write it down in the Book of Time.
Does everything have to be in that book?
Apparently. In any case, his ignorance makes him furious. That's why he made sure that everything that happens in the garden doesn't affect the outside world until someone tells him about it. What would be a good example? Let's say you take a ring into the garden and enchant it there, all right?
All right.
As soon as you leave the garden, the spell vanishes.
Why?
Because you enchanting the ring isn't written in the Book of Time. And if it isn't written in the Book of Time, it didn't happen. Only once you talk about it outside the garden.
And Satinav hears me.
And Satinav believes you. Only then will he open his book and write, Geron went into the Garden of Oblivion and enchanted Brida's ring. And then the ring is enchanted.
What if I lie?
Well, if Satinav believes you, then the lie becomes true. At least, until he finds out that you lied. Something tells me he doesn't like being manipulated.
You got all that from the journal?
I thought it was obvious.
What can the mask do again?
It presents you with a decision. If you wear it and speak the formula on the inside, you lose all your memories. But if you speak the name of the Djinn of Time, he appears to you and brings a piece of your past into the present.
I guess I sort of understand, but by the 12 the world was mad back then.
Oh, nonsense. On the contrary, back then it was full of real magic. A mask that brings back the past, a garden that makes lies the truth. Compared to all that, the miserable hocus-pocus we know today is nothing.
Keep reading. Oh no. What comes next?
Someone else added something here in the margin. After my princess learned the way to the garden, she came to me one last time. The staff!
I don't know what awaits me there, but I will go to the Garden of Oblivion. I have to know what Kasim wanted there.
Be my guest. I wouldn't dream of standing in the way of your madness.
I want to apologize to you. You always wondered why I freed you from the burial chamber. Well, I needed an audience. Someone who would observe all my deeds and remember them forever. I only needed to impress you enough, and you would have never forgotten me. I used you.
And why are you telling me this now?
It's the garden. It scares me.
Scared? You?
The Djinn of Time is a wrathful being. Also, I could be playing into Kasim's hands there. I'm afraid I'll never come back out, and the world will forget me forever.
Oh, that won't happen. No. You're a wonderful woman. If I had knees, I would have proposed to you a long time ago. I thought you wanted to impress me.
You hated me a moment ago, and now you're in love with me?
What makes you think that? You're the last woman I would fall in love with. The woman I would fall in love with is dangerous and unpredictable. Mysterious. Moody.
That sounds just like me.
No. The woman I would fall in love with is so calculating and devious that I could never trust her. But you, Shahrazad, I trust you now. For whatever reason that may be.
The Air Mage already declared his willingness to come along to the Flying Fortress as an observer. I asked him to take you on board with him.
You what? Now that we are finally friends? You're going to send me to my death just like that?
If I survive the garden and make it to the battle, I want to fight alongside you.
Then please survive. I do not want to wind up in the nether hells all by myself.
You won't.
I'm serious, Shahrazad. If you don't come out, then I'll come and get you.
Don't worry. It doesn't matter how hopeless my situation is. I always have something up my sleeve. I'll be back soon.